I'm going to demonstrate some of the new features that we will see after our 2015 upgrade here at University of Louisville Hospital. I'm going to start by choosing a patient. You'll notice some changes here in the tabs at the top of the Admit Manage Workflow page. You'll see these X's where you can delete a tab if you so choose, and the plus to add different tabs to your view, such as to show you exactly how I did this. So you'll see the choices on this workflow M page up here on the left. Over here on the left, any one of these can be moved into a different position. But the key to this workflow M page is the best way for a physician to complete a note is to, when possible, avoid changing screens. So the idea with this page is to do an admission or a daily note just using this one page that can be scrolled through. Let me scroll up to the top. I like to put in this order where I can see vital signs, labs, diagnostics, etc. What I want to show you is that if we go to the steps, the sections in which a physician will write, like subjective history, present illness, review systems, and objective physical exam, and move them out to the right side of the screen as a shortcut, it makes writing a note much easier. So for example, if I wanted to write a note on this patient, I've reviewed some data here at the top on this screen, and while doing so I can put in a subjective history. I'm just going to put in something briefly here. And save. In review systems, I'm going to use one of my own dot phrases, which we will talk about in a second, and save. And then for a physical exam as well, I'm going to use one of my own custom dot phrases. While here, there's another feature with drop downs, which I will show at the end, so I'm going to change this to include a gallop. As we go down the list here on the left, or scrolling through here, from here, we could find some items to tag if we wanted to, a section, just as an example. And then one of the best new features I find is here at the bottom on the left side of the screen where my cursor is. You'll see shortcuts to common notes for that specialty position. I'm going to put this into a medicine progress note, and just by clicking that, it saves at least 3 clicks and a scroll. Now you can see that the data that I input goes to the right portion of the note. If there were labs on this patient, they would have filled in my template here. Additionally, you'll see that the tagged information that I had on during that review is sitting here, and I can put this into any place I like. It makes no sense there, but this is just an illustration. I can then finish my assessment and plan, sign and submit. If I'm a resident, I'm going to choose my attending, to sign, and I'm done. You'll see that once I've completed my note, when I created the note using this link, that all this data disappeared for the next note. Now the other feature I wanted to show you on this video is the addition of the drop list functionality in Cerner, which is a lot easier to do once you've got a note open already, because the shortcut's easier to find. So I'm just opening a note here to bring up this screen, which is a new look for the auto text construction in the DynDoc. If I wanted to add or edit a note, if I wanted to add a new template, and click the plus, I type in a new abbreviation and description, which I've included up here. Now I'm going to add some free text into the note. Okay, so I've typed out a real brief physical exam. What I wanted to show you was the ability to create a drop list for any one of these typed out phrases. For example, no murmurs. If I highlight no murmurs, right click, and I hit create drop list, I can then add different phrases in a drop down list. And I can add another, whatever you would like, and another, or maybe one more. You can really get creative and do this. You can do this on multiple fields in the same note, as many as you like. So maybe we'll add S3 and an S4. Okay, now I've created my dot phrase. I'm going to save it. I called this physical.phys exam brief. So I'm going to close this and then just show you on an example note that phrase that I just did, and I called it .phys exam brief, and you'll see that I now have a quick shortcut to do a physical exam and then with drop down list. So just to review, I showed you the new view for the Admit Manage workflow and the contextual view to help easily create a note by typing in what we need to real quickly right here. As an example, and the one I just did right there. We're going to save these. If we don't, it'll remind us. And then we're going to create a note. Let's say a medicine progress note. And we are, may make some adjustments to the assessment and plan. Sign and submit, and we are done. I now want to show you the discharge workflow page, which works similarly to the Admit Manage page. You can do your discharge order straight from here. By clicking the power plan and completing. Once we are done, I'm not going to go through all the details, but that's where that is. The right hand top of the screen. You can do your Casper report right here. It's going to be documenting what we found in the Casper by going over here to the caret, clicking Casper, and filling out the power form. Completing home medications, you need to go to the discharge reconciliation screen, which I've already completed here. And that's where you do your e-prescribing or prescriptions. You need to fill up a follow-up appointment, which I've done, and patient education, which has been added as well down here. This is how you would get rid of one of them, and this is how you would edit one. This is where you would do your hospital course, which I've pulled out over here to the side and saved. And then I will complete all my other documents. I won't go through all the details here, but click the discharge note, and all those fields are brought in automatically. I sign and submit, and I'm done. So these are just some of the highlights of the new functionality in the new system. Well, that's the 2015 upgrade updates.